Hello, everyone. Welcome to Self Love You. My name is Jenna Ryan, and this is an audio to help you to heal from narcissist abuse and to help you to love yourself more and protect yourself. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the characteristics or traits of someone who is a target for the narcissist. I got these particular traits from Sandra L. Brown. She is a PhD and expert in psychopathy and pathology. She had a tragedy occur in her life that caused her to become extremely interested in what the traits are of women. She's very focused on women, and her work is from over 10 years ago, but still relevant today. But I would include men, because men are just as prey to a narcissist as women. I'm seeing equal. So one of the things she talks about, and they researched, were the traits that someone has when they are prone to falling in love with a psychopath or prone to being fooled by a psychopath. And so I'm going to go over these 5 traits, and then I'm going to be doing audios or videos on each individual trait, and I'm really going to dissect each trait so that you can watch out for your own self. Okay, so let's just start with the things that Sandra L. Brown says, the traits that people have who get trapped by psychopaths. And remember, a psychopath, a narcissist, same diff. It's all in the same continuum. So one of the things that really struck me was blind trust. Someone who has a tendency to have blind trust is going to be someone who will fall for the lies, the love bombing, the idolization phase of the narcissist. Blind trust. So what does that mean? That means that somewhere in your personal development, in your childhood development, you were not taught to be skeptical. You were taught to just trust everyone across the board. This is a problem. It means that you were taught not to trust your own intuition, but instead to just trust whatever is being brought to you. Because you learned when you were a child that it's not okay to listen to your intuition. So you turned off your intuition and simply blindly trusted everyone. And today you are suffering for it because you don't know how to trust your intuition, and so you blindly trust people. I really researched blind trust when I saw this word, because it's something that I recognized that people do. You just want to trust someone you love, and you do not want to be skeptical. You just want to trust them because it's easier. Because if you question someone, if you are skeptical of someone, it's almost like you feel abnormal. It feels wrong to not trust 100%. So what we have to do is go against that grain, that tendency to blindly trust people. And remember to keep people at a certain emotional distance and stay emotionally detached until you really figure out who they are. And people unfold. And unfortunately, the fairy tale must come to an end. And it's important that you question people and stay skeptical, but not to the point to where you isolate yourself and become negative, but simply watch what's going on and begin to listen to your intuition and begin to take action on your intuition. That little gut, that little voice inside. Start listening and validating. That's your truth. So blind trust is one of the characteristics. And I think it's very important that we work on not being so trusting so that we can protect ourselves from people who are harmful in the future. Anybody could be harmful. Family members, friends, lovers, husbands, wives. You must make sure that people who you're giving your trust to deserve it, but also don't ever 100% trust anyone blindly. You just have to watch out, unfortunately. It's like we trust everyone but ourselves. I could do a whole video on this, obviously. Okay, next. Insane loyalty. Insane loyalty. Someone who is prone to get trapped by a narcissist, a psychopath, is someone who has insane loyalty. And that's why so many of you have difficulty going no contact. Because of that betrayal bond. She doesn't talk about the betrayal bond. She doesn't talk about the trauma bond or Stockholm syndrome. But she does talk about insane loyalty. And that's pretty much the same thing. Being loyal to someone who does not deserve your loyalty. That's also codependency, where you give yourself away for the benefit of the other person. You put the other person's needs ahead of your own needs, and you're loyal to them, even to your detriment. And it's almost as if you become invisible and the other person becomes superior and the ultimate most important thing in your life. Insane loyalty. Those aren't my words. That's Sandra L. Brown. They researched, I think, 92 women who were in relationship or in situations with psychopaths. And they found that these traits were very strong in these women. Insane loyalty. No one deserves loyalty if it's harmful to yourself. No one. And this is something you have to learn as you heal and mature. How to stop being loyal to people who do not deserve your loyalty. And how to turn your loyalty towards yourself. It's important to turn off insane loyalty. I think it's a wonderful character trait, and I have it, to be a loyal person. But becoming loyal to the extent that it's harmful to yourself and dragging you down, that's the point where you have to say enough is enough and let go of your loyalty and be loyal to yourself. Self-love. The number 3 thing of people who get trapped by psychopaths and narcissists is high relationship investment. High relationship investment. That means that you invest in a relationship at all costs, which mean that you place too much value in the relationship to the detriment of yourself. High relationship investment, where it's so important to you to be in a relationship that you're willing to sacrifice your dignity, your rights, your needs, your desires. You put more value on a relationship than on yourself. What does that mean? That means you don't have faith in yourself because you feel that you need an outside person to validate you and bring you worth and bring you value. So what do? You invest your focus, your attention, your energy on the relationship and on another person to the detriment of yourself. You overly emotionally invest in someone else, forgetting that you matter too. forgetting to set boundaries, forgetting to stand up for yourself. You just kind of get trapped or whisked away in the fantasy that the cluster B person is portraying for you. The love bombing, the future faking, the gaslighting. You want to just let someone else take the reins. You want to buy into the illusion. And so you invest everything you have, everything, into the illusion. And after a while, it begins to show on your face, begins to show, you just become obsessed. It's just an addiction. Overly high emotion, high relationship investment. Okay, number 4 is hyper empathy. Hyper empathy. So empathy is one thing, and it's a great thing to have. But hyper empathy is a place that's unhealthy. So just like it's unhealthy to not have any empathy at all, it's also very unhealthy to have way too much empathy. You want to be empathetic, but you don't want to lose yourself in the empathy. You don't want to be hyper empathetic. You have to set internal boundaries within yourself as to how much empathy you're willing to give out to others. Hyper-empathy is a form of codependence. All of these traits that I'm talking about are learned behaviors. Because somewhere along the way you were not taught that you matter, that you are important, and that you are worth separating yourself from others, and that it's not necessary to give everything you have to someone else who needs you, or who needs fixing, or who is presenting their woes to you, and really being able to determine the difference between yourself and the other person. So hyper-empathy is another way to say that is an enmeshment, being enmeshed instead of being separate, feeling obligated, feeling guilt, allowing someone else to trying to make everybody comfortable, and allowing other people to violate you and not saying anything because you don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable. That has to stop. That's hyper-empathy. Hyper-empathy is when you do not stay in your own lane emotionally. Emotionally, if someone else is doing something that's violating your boundaries, rather than, and they, present whatever to you, rather than standing up and walking away if necessary, you stay in the muck and allow yourself to be violated because you don't feel free to stand up, you don't want to express, you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, you want everybody to feel good to your own detriment. That is a problem. If you're one of these people, these are the people that narcissists are looking for. They're looking for people who are hyper empathetic, who are empathetic way beyond what's necessary. They're looking for people who overinvest in the relationship, who put the relationship before themselves, who need a relationship to feel worthy. They look for people who have insane loyalty, who have Pollyanna existence where they cannot possibly imagine that someone else would be a con or would take advantage. Or they want to believe the illusion so bad that they don't see the writing on the wall and the red flags that the person that they are with is unstable and will eventually betray, cheat, lie, wreak havoc, and be very ungrateful for all of the things, all the loyalty, all this empathy. They're not grateful for it. They just take it and run and cycle to another person. They're looking for people with blind trust. Okay, number 5, the last one is high tolerance. High tolerance for pain. Someone who is trapped by a narcissist and can't get out has a very high tolerance for maladaptive behavior, for behavior that is unacceptable to most people, to a healthy person. If you have a high tolerance for cheating, lying, being devalued, a narcissist will devalue you as soon as they love bomb you and get you where they want you. They will begin to devalue you so that you will be feeling inadequate. Someone who has a high tolerance for being devalued is going to be a perfect victim for the narcissist. So these are the traits that we really need to work on. Being tolerant of negative behavior, tolerant of devaluation. We have to stand up and say, excuse me? I don't know what you're talking about. Because what happens whenever you start catching a narcissist in their game because of your knowledge, your skills and experience, once you begin catching them early, the abuse cycle shortens. So if you're someone who has been prey, once you have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and you apply that, you're not going to be as easily fooled for as long. Like, they may be able to fool you as long as they're being really, really good, but you'll start to notice things, and you'll start to be able to shut them down, and they're going to go somewhere else, because a narcissist does not like being found out. And as soon as the mask starts slipping and you start seeing who they really are, they're going to leave, and then you're going to be able to shut them out. So you want to lower your tolerance level for negative behavior, for devaluation. Definitely lower your target level for going no contact. Tolerance level. You've got to lower your level of what you're going to accept. And if someone cannot treat you appropriately, then you've got to go no contact. Unless it's someone that, you have children with, then you have to deal with that in a way of low contact and very wise in your operation with someone who's a narcissist. So you can't tolerate anyone treating you poorly or devaluing you, and you've got to get in tune with your intuition. All of these 5 traits show a person who is not comfortable or connected with their own truth, with their own intuition. It's like there's a numbing between intuition and action. Like the intuition, the truth within, has been silenced. And any signals within that would say, don't trust this person. Don't be loyal to this person. Don't empathize with this person. Don't invest in this person. Don't tolerate this behavior. All of those little voices within are shut or silenced. And even though sometimes you may hear that intuition, you ignore it because you don't know how to listen to it. You don't know how to take action. That intuition was not validated within. So we have to begin to learn to validate the intuition at all costs, no matter how much it costs, no matter what friendship it costs, no matter how sad we are in the interim as we say goodbye to people that are hurtful, no matter how bad it hurts to walk away from abuse, we must put ourselves first, trusting that on the other side of the pain of leaving someone who's harmful to us is benefit and a beautiful life, free of abuse. and free of exploitation. So those are the 5 traits of people who get trapped by the narcissist. I hope this has been beneficial to you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for being a part of the Self Love You community. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you soon.